Sorry about that. And we're good. So, we got a lunar eclipse today. It's the 27th. I'm the Dawsane, here to do some astrology. And this is some fun energy coming into this eclipse because it's the summer. And we have the moon's nodes, which travel around the zodiac about once every 30 years, maybe a little bit longer. And right now, the nodes, where the eclipses happen, are in the signs of summer and in winter, like February and July. So that means that when the eclipse happens, that the energy that carries through 6 months until the next eclipse cycle happens is going to be one of summer and then one of winter. And so even though usually the summer solstice is the time in which we say, oh, summer finally began, I think this full moon is actually our realization of what summer is and what summer will continue to be into fall and what summer will continue to feel like even in winter. These energies, I have a specific story actually. It's funny because the sun is doing a lunar eclipse right on top of Mars in Aquarius. And what is that energy? Well, Mars is your everyday go energy, your manifesting energy, your I have to get out of bed and make breakfast energy. And so it's your vigor and your youth and all this stuff. And today, I went to the coffee shop on my way to the grocery store to pick up my usual pear for breakfast. And what did I get? Oh, let's see if this can be turned up a bit. Whoops, that's better. Right, so I'll just start again. Yeah, so the sun is making its summertime eclipse, and eclipses don't always happen in summertime, but in this cycle for the next about, say, 12 years, we're going to be having summer eclipses, and that's really awesome. So we're finally coming into the consciousness of the summer. Like usually when the summer solstice happens, we say, oh, it's summer now. Not everyone feels that way, but that's what they usually say. And now that we're hitting this eclipse and the full moon right on top of Mars, well, now we're fully realizing what summer is. And it's going to carry in all the way towards the winter months because the eclipse happens in 6-month cycles. And they slowly go around the zodiac. And so we could be having fall and spring eclipses. But no, that's in like another 15 years. We're stuck in this summer energy. So good for us, right? Anyways, so let's carry on with the story because I was going to the grocery store today. And recently I've started going to this cafe right in between the grocery store, and I pick up a latte, and it's a really quaint little cafe, and there's a couple of hip people serving lattes and stuff, and so I get my latte, and I only just started going there like within the last 2 weeks. But today on the full moon I went there and I was kind of waiting in line. I was doing my thing, feeling good, like back on my game, and the person was like, hey, you're the regular latte in a large cup. And I'm like, yeah, wow, you remembered. And that exact energy is the energy of this eclipse. It's this kind of like acquaintances becoming more involved in your life in a distant way, but in a way in which everything's suitable. Because we're working with Aquarius, which is these kind of intermittent friendships and acquaintances. And we're dealing with Leo, which is our kingdom and our like rulers. And our summer heart, and our lion, and our pride. And so it's funny because she was prideful about me getting her latte all the time. I was prideful about her knowing me. And we have this little kingdom set up where just that small interaction was like perfect and beautiful. And it was very egoistic in this kind of, I'm going to be me and you're going to be you. And we can both exist together and be really cool. Because ego's not always bad. Like Leo teaches us that we need an ego to be the king. Aquarius teaches us the other way around it, that we should just move with the flow with the acquaintances and facilitate social harmonies and social contracts. So that was the perfect energy for the eclipse. Just kind of, I started going to a cafe about 2 weeks ago, and now they know what I like. And that's going to continue on. And it's not like it's going to go anywhere further. Like, I'm not going to become personal friends with these people at all. But we have hit this kind of sustaining thing where we can manifest good vibes every day if we wanted to. Like, we've hit the rhythm of the heart, and we can stay acquaintances through it. That's Mars's I'm marching forward, I have a goal, I'm doing this, and I can't stop to say hey because I have a thing to do. And it's also Leo's I'm the king, and come say hi to me because I'm the king and I want to be kingly and everyone should like surround me. Right? So, like, another story. I'm going to the barber today and I'm going to get my hair cut. And that's a very, very Aquarius Leo thing. It's like, I like my barber. I'm going to talk to him about all kinds of things. We're not going to become personal friends, but he's going to make me look spicy. And so, great. That's another thing that can continue on for 6 months. And we might find this with our social acquaintances nowadays, is that we might enjoy a larger body of our social acquaintances simply because it's easier to keep up our visage, our image. And that way you don't, like, you know, when you get too personal with people, then suddenly you have to do all this hard work of growth. And it's like, oh, right, now we're transforming together and I have to stick with you through your shit and you have to stick with me through my shit. When we're all acquaintances, it's like we have a little community, but we don't have to, like, you know, the community is bigger than the egos. And that's what Aquarius is always trying to tell us, is the community out there community is bigger than the in-here personal lives. But, you know, the personal lives are what make up the community. And we're in Leo right now. And so we're going to realize that we're coming into ourselves in such a way in which we don't need such to be facilitated so personally by other people. Here's what the chart looks like. So here's the sun, and this is the north node. You can see today it's just about to come onto it, so the full moon's really technically happening tonight. And here's the moon, which is literally 1 degree away from the lunar eclipse. It's almost a total lunar eclipse, and it's going to be on Mars. This is that masculine side of Mars, and here's Aquarius. The two lines undulating together, but not touching each other. And so this is that major aspect, and we'll be playing this out until the sun makes it all its way through Virgo and Libra and Scorpio and Sagittarius and Capricorn and hits Aquarius again 6 months later. We also have, like, Uranus, which is in Taurus here, which just recently came into Taurus, and it's ripping up all of the old traditions and making them look wacky and making them feel like, you know, Taurus is the sign of establishment, of tradition, of quality procedure, of tastes, of sensuality, of beauty in a material sense. And Uranus going through there is making us realize that, you know, maybe pickles and peanut butter taste good together, you know, and maybe, like, the way to have a really established community is to actually not have so much interwoven lives. I know that's hard to hear. And then finally, just to look at anything else, is what we have Jupiter in the sign of Scorpio, which has been ripping up our emotional truths. Like, I don't know if everyone's been most sensitive, been able to realize anger, to realize excitement, to realize sadness, to realize disappointment, you know, jubilation, anticipation. All these are emotions. And in the last about 5 months, 6 months, we've been going deep into it. And we're going to continue to go deep into it. And it's going to be, you know, in this fixed energy of Scorpio, which means it's going to have this sustaining value to it. Usually when we hit emotions, they're fleeting, but in this case, we're hitting emotions, and they're going to be, like, pumping it out and expanding. And it's a beautiful time to realize how emotional we are. We need emotions to feel ourselves in the world. Anyways, so that's the astrology for the full moon. I just want to recap it, is that this summer energy isn't always the case with the eclipses. So really lock into it. Lock into the light energy, the growth, passion, relationship, thriving of the summer. And because, you know, as we look at the zodiac, we have to use it, because we use this energy for when the eclipses in 15 years are, like, in the fall winter energies. And we're going to be looking back on these years and be like, remember that summer vibe that like seemed to keep on going for 6 months? Well, yeah. Anyways, again, the story is, think about a latte, go to your average coffee station, make friends with your like barista, but don't make two friends, you know, make it so you can carry it on, your coolness. They can be cool in front of you, you can be cool in front of them. You don't have to get too involved, and you can continue to see them for 6 months at a time in this social place, and that's what's going to carry that summer energy through. Go to your barber today, you know, like get that nice haircut. Start like talking to them, but not anything specific. Don't get into your lives so much, but just say, you know, I'm cool, you're cool, and let's like vibe out on each other. Lastly, you know, this is so much about ego. With the solar and lunar eclipses happening in Leo for the first time in like 40 years. It's going to be a huge ego rebirth. We're going to realize the lion in us. We're going to realize the proud kingdom that we all have in store. We really have this kingdom. If you have a room, if you have 3 or 4 friends, if you have a job or anything that brings you in contact with social relations around you, they come into your kingdom. That is your kingdom. And you can start feeling a little bit more laid back. Like, even if everything's going to shit, you know, the king's usually like, secretary, you know? The king doesn't try to lose his head, and if he does, well, everything goes to shit a lot faster. So keep it cool, keep it easy, keep it fresh. Things are coming to consciousness after the last 2 weeks. Things are really, you know, you're realizing the energy, the cycle is important. And after today, when we go into the next 2 weeks, when the new moon comes around, that's closing off the eclipse energy. And this energy in this last month is going to be a little seed that develops over the next, you know, in 2 months when the sun hits the aspect, and 4 months when it hits an aspect again, and when 6 months happens, it's going to come to a whole fruition. So, yeah, that's all I have to say, and I hope this recording went through well. I'm trying out YouTube. I don't know really how to make streaming as easy as possible, but thanks for listening. Hopefully you guys have something to be proud about, because today is the day to be proud about it, and to not flaunt it so much as share it with people. So, peace. Oh yeah, and I'm the Dawsane, and that was Astrology.